Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for taking your time to be part of our viewers. When Barack Muluka described the UDA regime as a rogue and gangster regime, many people thought that it was exaggerated because in his own very humble submission, he said the government is hell-bent on accumulating wealth and spending it on expensive jewelry, watches, and expensive furniture. And this is a government full of young Turks, men and women who were born in 80s, people like Murkomen. They are in their 40s. So they are in a mad rush to accumulate wealth. And today, it is confirmed that indeed this is a gangster paradise, ready to deal with anyone who is demanding for their rightful share in the government. Every expert and pundit has weighed on the debate about the striking doctors, and many have got a convergent point that the government is not dealing with doctors in a fair manner. William Ruto himself told the doctors to go back to work because there is no money. What they have can only afford to pay interns 70,000 Kenya shillings. And when they realized that the KMPDU stood their ground, they went back to their factory setting, what we know them for. And Kithure Kindiki is now giving a strong statement. He has actually banned demonstrations by doctors. And this is happening at a time when more medics, the fraternity that deals with the medicine, have given a striking notice and they are joining the doctors. I want us to read this, even as I also want to give you what Meguna said about the UDA and the striking doctors. 3 more health unions down tools as Kindiki bans protests. We've been waiting for them to ban because this is what we know them for. It is written that the government has banned demonstrations by striking doctors. In a TASS statement Tuesday, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki termed the industrial action by the health workers illegal for defying a court order to go back to work. Consequently, he has directed police to ensure strict maintenance of law and order to protect the general public and the health workers providing services pending the resolution of the labor dispute. This is what he said. It is noted with grave concern that the participants in the industrial action by health workers continue to defy the aforesaid court order and to intimidate and threaten violence against health workers who have opted not to participate in the unlawful strike. He continues to say, gatherings, protests, or whatever other action in pursuit of grievances outside the law and in breach of court directives undermines the constitutional order of the country and are therefore not permissible. That is Kithure Kindiki. Now, as this is happening, 3 more union strikes. The development came in the wake of a strike notice by 3 more health unions. Public health workers, nutritionists, and pharmaceutical technologists have announced the commencement of an indefinite strike beginning Tuesday, April 9th, with planned peaceful demonstrations across the country. And this is what they said. We, the united bodies of the Kenya Environmental Health and Public Work Practitioners Union, the Kenya National Union of Pharmaceutical Technologists, and the Kenya Union of Nutritionists and Dietitians, with a heavy heart, announce the commencement of an indefinite strike action starting today, 9th April 2024, the union said, and they regretted that their strike notice had been ignored. We provided a 7-day ultimatum to the Ministry of Health and county governments to address our long-standing grievances. Regrettably, this period has lapsed without any substantive action or satisfactory response from the concerned authority. So they gave a 7-day notice, and instead of the Ministry of Health now calling them so that they can avert, because they could have averted this strike, they kept quiet. Now they are using force because they believe in the police and military way on resolving their matters. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that Barack Muluka was right when he described this government as rogue and gangster regime. Now, Megona is saying this in light of what is happening. How can we as a country argue in good conscience that a physician who got all A's in high school, spent 5 years at medical school, and is delivering our babies, removing our tumors, and spending countless hours in emergency rooms is worth only 70,000 Kenya shillings per month, while semi-illiterates in parliament earn 1.5 million shillings, excluding the millions they loot from CDF and other illicit deals? What happened to our dignity as a country? And Meguna feels that we cannot pay our members of parliament more than we pay our doctors who spent 5 years in school and they are directly engaged with our health every day. As this is happening, there are cancer patients who cannot afford medication in private hospitals. We've got different categories and levels of diseases, and people are really suffering. And if you ask majority of Kenyans, they feel that the government would have sacrificed just a little more to pay our doctors. I'm sure even if the doctors are not given what they want, if you give them 3/4, not giving them a quarter, if the government would be courteous and call all these unions and tell them, guys, we agreed, because it was agreed under Ruto government. Ruto was deputy president, and he was on top of things. They can simply tell them, I know this is what is happening. Please, we can give you 3/4 with a lot of courtesy. And then in the next few years, because they have projected that the economy is doing well, then they tell them, we will add you. The only problem is that William Ruto suffers trust issues. People don't trust what he's saying because he spent a lot of time lying, and he continues to lie. But again, if he engages them well, they can reach an equilibrium point. Now, using the police cannot solve this, because as they ban the demonstrations, more health union workers are coming. They had given us a 7-day striking notice, and that's why the government has moved in very fast to deploy the police. Look at it this way. The police is supposed to be in Baringo and Northeastern, where bandits are killing people. Yet they want to be deployed to start running battles with the doctors. So these are our professionals that need to be treated well, but we want to start, beating them anyhow in the streets and humiliating them. These are fathers and mothers in the society. So we'll be watching them on TV being humiliated and beaten. Why? Just because they want better environment and better pay for themselves. And it didn't start today. They sat down with their professionals and representatives, and they agreed and signed. The day we shall respect signed documents in this country, we will grow. But when we sign documents and later thwart them, it is not proper. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, demonstrations are allowed in the Constitution. Kithure Kindiki is a lawyer. He understands that our doctors have got every right to go and express their displeasure and lamentation on the streets. because it is in the constitution. They have continued to tell us that this government is a government of rule and order, and that we should be respecting our constitution. Now what they are doing in simplest terms is simply going against the constitution, which is not good. Our doctors, when they go on strike or down their tools and they demonstrate, I've never seen them being violent. They've been singing on the streets just to express their displeasure, disappointment against the government. When you provoke doctors and you want to beat them, really, this is not proper.